my girlfriend's gonna be fucking pissed if I don't do it today. So
Oh shit! I wish we can't do that here. I wish we could do that.
yeah, then when I lived in Maryland, you couldn't, but yeah, here you get 5 cents, but you pay for it. Like, so when you check out at the register, you're already paying. They charge you for the deposit. Basically, it's just getting your money back if you recycle them. So, you know, some people look at you like you're crazy when you do it. I'm like, listen, I got fucking basically $20 a can sitting out in my garage. You're damn right I'm returning that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's coffee money for 2 weeks. So
I think in like, I don't know if it's Mass or Connecticut, which isn't really far from where I live. It's like 15, 20 minutes in either direction. Fucking, you get like 10 cents a can. I'm like, you get 10 cans?
Michigan,
that's $1.
Yeah, Michigan too does 10 cents. But yeah, anyway, we'll get going here. Yeah, random. All right, we are back. This is the Midpoint Marvelous Facts. We just got finished with a riveting conversation about can returns and how it's allowed in New York. So yeah, we get 5 cents every time we bring back, you know, an aluminum beer can or pop can. And Trevin does not. So, but, you know, we were just talking.
No cans in Rhode Island.
Literally a wall of cans in my garage I have to bring back when we're done with this. But anyway, we're not here to talk about cans. We're here to talk about 2 random characters that we like to highlight in this Midpoint Marvelous Facts section. And the first one we just covered in book segment number 1. He popped up at the end of Falcon number 1, and that was Blackheart. Blackheart was created by Ann Nocenti and Sal Buscema. First appearance was Daredevil 270 back in 1989 of September. So yeah, he basically like kind of a mystical cat. He doesn't really, I didn't find much about him messing around with Falcon really. So this might kind of be the, you know, first time Falcon's encountering him. He's a Daredevil, Spider-Man, Ghost Rider type villain there. But,
a lot of Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
very OP too.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's a couple facts here I got about this cat. He's so basically he was created because centuries of murder in a locale which is named Christ's Crown, New York. I'm not sure if that's real or not. I didn't bother looking that up. But anyway, that's where all this evil was occurring. Drew the attention of Demon Lord Mephisto, who created a quote-unquote son, Blackheart. So this is one of Mephisto's sons, from the energy level of accumulated evil in the area. So he was basically created solely out of evil energy by Mephisto.
Pure evil.
Blackheart explored the nature of evil, or it says explored. I don't know if it meant exploited. Blackheart explored the nature of evil under his father's tutelage, clashing and failing to corrupt Daredevil and Spider-Man. So yeah, he's tried to turn those guys to the dark side. Obviously, that didn't really work. Kind of crazy thing about Blackheart is Ghost Rider's penance stare doesn't affect Blackheart at all. It's actually to the contrary. It makes him stronger due to the power. Yeah, the power that makes its victims relive all the misdeeds at once. So he basically uses all the misdeeds he was created from to become even more powerful if Ghost Rider tries to pull that move out on him. So Ghost Rider has to, you know, deal with him in other means, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know if you know anything about Blackheart you want to chip in. This is really like the first time I've read a lot of Spider-Man stories. I've never seen him in a Spider-Man book. So I will have to hunt that one down. See how Spider-Man stops that bad boy.
Right. I can't imagine. I got
right?
like, what's Spider-Man gonna do against the fucking son of the devil?
Like, it's not gonna do shit. So
no, I got some of his abilities. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like,
yeah, I know.
High intelligence.
When your abilities are basically everything, I usually don't talk too much about them.
No, I mean reality warping. We're like right there. He's got all these like shape shifting, telepathy, like healing factor, all that. Like, but reality warping right there. You don't even need any of the other powers. If you can warp reality, right, that's it. You're good.
Yeah. I hear you. But yeah, that's about it for Blackheart, and we're gonna move on to another pretty crazy villain. That's kind of our theme this week, and that is the Griffin, who used to be John Horton is the name he used to go by. He was created by Steve Englehart and Tom Sutton. First appearance in Amazing Adventures, Volume 2, number 15, back from 1972 in November. Johnny Horton was a small-time criminal who was captured by the agents of the second subversive organization known as Secret Empire. So that's pretty crazy. They're just a random organization. The Secret Empire organization, not the event, assigned a surgeon in its employ to transform Horton into a superhuman being by using various techniques, including grafting wings and claws onto his body permanently and administering an experimental mutagenic serum into him. So he's basically like turned into a mutant to fit these skin grafts and wings of claws and shit that has been sewn onto his body. It's pretty gruesome, gruesome way to turn into a villain there. So I see why you'd be pissed off personally. I would be looking for bigger crimes than robbing empanada trucks, though. I would start a little bigger. You know what I'm saying? They have here for kind of a crazy fact. For some unexplained reason, Horton's body undergoes radical changes. Probably, you know, obviously that mutagenic serum that was injected into him. Whenever he pushes his powers to the limits, which results in further mutations. So his body is mutated on multiple occasions, resulting in his change from mostly human to like the current form. You'll see him in the Spider-Man Legacy issue this week, where he just looks like a full-out, you know, griffin, lion with wings. You know what I'm saying? There's no human really there much at all. Yeah. His physical attributes also increase with his form, basically. So every time he mutates and becomes more like animalistic, he gets stronger. You know, he turns basically just absorbs more power as well. So yeah, I don't know. You got anything to add on Griffin? This is also the first time I've ever seen Griffin in a comic book I've read. So
I just saw something. I was surprised. The chick, she got killed in the beginning of Secret Warriors, but she was also on the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show. But he's the father of Yo-Yo Rodriguez, an Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh yeah, really? Griffin is?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
That is crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's about where I stopped watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Not because she got killed. That's not the reason I stopped watching it, but like around that time, like when she died, I think.
Did she die? I don't remember. I stopped watching it too because it's just
I don't know if she died. They probably brought her back. You know, I don't know. I just
sometimes
could
I know she died
justify using an hour a week to watch that show.
No. I mean, when I get bored, I'll like see what's going on Netflix just to catch up, and it's I don't know. It's okay. Like if I'm looking at stuff on the computer, it's something to keep on in the background. You know, so I don't
exactly what I was going to say. That turned into one of those shows I would put on the TV, and then basically either read a comic book or just flip through Twitter for the entire time it was on, and watch the fight scenes. And then basically when it was over, I'd be like, well, I don't really know what happened. I kind of got the gist of it, and we'll count that as watched.
I gotta say, the only good thing I did like about that show is the Ghost Rider stuff was surprisingly cool, and that's it.
Yeah,
because it looked good for TV. You wouldn't think, you know, I mean, they could do things now that they couldn't before, and I'm like, you know, it looked pretty good, and that brings me. Why can't the CW do a Green Lantern show? But that's another thing altogether.
Yeah, I know that would be cool. It would get me to start watching the CW shows again because I kind of stopped watching all those too.
They just like I watched the season premiere of Flash and Arrow, and they weren't that good. They weren't that good.
I liked Arrow a little more. Like I loved the first two seasons when it was fresh and you know the only thing on. And then like it just I don't know, it's so soap opera-y and it just wore on me over time.
The Deathstroke season was the best fucking season ever.
Deathstroke I liked. Yes, Deathstroke season was badass.
And after that, it just got aggressively fucking worse. Last season they picked it up, but
yeah, there's a whole lot of like there's too much lovey-dovey stuff that goes on. It loses me a little bit.
Yeah, but, me too.
Yeah, we're gonna jump into book section number 2. This is going to be Trevitt's book here, Defenders number 6. So this is the legacy issue, though, of Defenders. So that's why we're covering this bad boy, because we're only covering legacy books for you guys for the next couple months to keep you updated on this stuff. And yeah, Trevor's going to take it away and let us know what went down.
All right. We got writer of Brian Michael Bendis, artist and cover David Marquez, colorist the great Justin Ponser, and letterer Corey Pettit. I say the great Justin Ponser because when I read this book, like when you see a leather jacket or the shoes, like the fabric, just like it looks so good. So like, and it's his colors. His colors are just fucking unbelievably fantastic. So I got the solicit here, and it's Kingpins of New York, Part 1. The Defenders, Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Daredevil, protectors of the people, are in a desperate struggle to keep New York City safe. In the wake of the power vacuum caused by the Kingpin's absence and the all-out street war that results. So what could make things even worse for our team of harried heroes? Would you believe Deadpool? Which is kind of misleading because I mean,
yeah,
you'll find out why it's a little misleading.
Yeah, spoiler alert. He's literally in the very last page, and that's it. I mean, it's Deadpool, so he's on the cover. I mean, spoiler, but
no, I mean, I'm sure we'll see him a lot in the next couple issues while we deal with this crazy, because shit's about to fucking explode. This book's gonna get really, really crazy, and I'm assuming that we're gonna see a ton of different characters show up, from Punisher to Deadpool to a lot of fucking street level characters.
Yeah, it's kind of like you know, I'll say it because the real Avengers book hasn't felt very Avengers-y in a while.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Avengers book of the lineup right now, because there's a lot of different like mainstream characters popping in and out, you know, making contributions. There's a big name writer on it and a big name artist that stays consistently. Yep. There's no changing going on.
No.
And it just feels like it has more weight than this Avengers crossover that's going on with the Champions right now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And we were saying that earlier, well, yesterday, but technically earlier in the episode, that you know, a lot of books these days don't have the same artist that stay on, but there's one thing I could give Bendis credit for, is he's somehow able to keep the same artist on the title, like Vince Blyerman, Stefano Caselli for the whole thing.
Yeah, that's the one thing you can like, you know, they're not always my favorite books to read, but Bendis books usually do have the same artist, and if he's off, if an artist is off, it's for like literally one issue, and then they're back.
Yeah.
And it's usually at a break between arcs.
He's the only guy who can keep people like, and he always gets the best. It's either Casilli or Alex Maleev or fucking David Marquez or Salad Pacelli. Like he gets all the best artists. So I don't know what he sold his soul to the devil, but
yeah, they keep him around for sure.
They really do. So we start off this issue with a monologue from Jessica Jones about why they do what they do and how the city is going to shit. It's gotten so bad that good people won't even leave their homes anymore. She questions everything they've been working towards and how uncomfortable she is that this is the world that, you know, her daughter is going to be growing up in. And so the first page, we catch up with Diamondback after he escaped a maximum security prison transport by goading the Punisher into an uncontrollable fit of rage. And he broke them out. Like, he started talking about his family and just saying some like really horrendous shit to the Punisher, and the Punisher just fucking lost his shit. And you know, he got out because of that. So then he went to Black Cat's loft and he put about 6 bullets into her, and now he's going into an alley trying to get away, because I guess it didn't work out too well, because Black Cat's a tough chick. So he's kind of like hiding in this alley in New York City, wondering why the drugs that he's been using, which this is the first time we know why he has these special powers, because they haven't touched on it yet. We've seen him going toe-to-toe with Luke and shit, but they haven't told us. So he's got these pills in his hand, and he's, you know, they keep wearing off the more he takes them. And you know, he doesn't have time to put too much thought into it, and he downs 5 times the recommended dose. Sounds like fun, right?
Yeah, right.
Sounds like something I do. I just be like, hey, fuck it, let's do it, and drop them all. But So it must be, it must be working because his eyes light up and electricity's shooting everywhere, and he looks
I
like a
thought he
Dragon Ball
turned
Z
into Red
character.
Hulk. I'm like, oh, is he the new Red Hulk? What the fuck is
I
going on?
know, because of the
He does look like Red
electricity.
Hulk in that top panel.
Yeah, the electricity glows up against his body, making his body light up, kind of orangey red. He does kind of look like a Dragon Ball Z character right there. So he's all hulked out and huge, ripped. He kind of grew in size a little bit, and then Black Cat comes out of nowhere and fucking slices his face. What the fuck? Oh yeah, and then during this we get more narration from Jessica Jones, bringing us up to speed of how they're both fighting to take Wilson Fisk's place as the kingpin of New York because he's quote unquote trying to go legit, tech kinda, not really. Yeah, run for mayor and be clean, have a clean nose. So Diamondback grabs Black Cat by the neck after she slices him and tosses her like a rag doll to the ground. And with her bullet wounds and everything, she doesn't really put up too much of a fight because she's got 6 shots in her. And he reaches out to finish the job, and before he can lay a finger on her, a billy club knocks his hand out of the way. Oh, I hate it when I lose my place. There he goes. A billy club knocks it out of the way, and Felicia's eyes go wide in shock as who is here to save the day? And Iron Fist comes in with a chi charge jump kick with Daredevil in tow, and the fight starts to get really, really big.
Yeah, Iron Fist goes Iron Foot on him.
Yeah, he really does. I mean, it used to just be that Iron Fist, could only channel it in his fists, but later on he learned how to channel it through his whole entire body, so he can like kick someone with it or do whatever the fuck he wants. He could actually do a lot of shit with that chi. Kind of makes him like not so much of a lame superhero. Like he's cool, like that's cool. You got an Iron Fist and you could punch shit, but like when he learned really how to channel that chi and like heal himself, heal other people, spread it all over his body, so like you could drop a car on him and it's not gonna kill him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, you got hit with a fucking pool table in Iron Fist, and it got cracked over his head. He should be dead. Yeah. So that chi's no joke. So so they're trying to slow him down, and then a car comes barreling down the road with Luke and Jessica inside. Jessica pins the pedal to the floor, smashes the car square into Diamondback's chest. He goes flying, glass everywhere. Luke starts to ask, where he's been all this time and all that stuff, which is kind of a rehash because we've already been through that. He's asked him those questions before, but it's more of a joke because Luke lets him know that he doesn't really give a shit because he's about to start telling him. He's like,
he was going to answer him, and he's like, yeah, I don't care.
I don't care. I don't care anymore. Fuck you. So, oh yeah. So at this point, Diamondback is a little worse for wear. He's fucked up. But it ain't over yet because Luke hits him so fucking hard. The force of the punch sends Iron Fist, Daredevil, Jessica, and the car just fucking flying backwards. Like it's like a sonic boom when he.
I like that part.
That was fucking awesome, and I love when his fist goes into his face, like just the ripple effect.
That's
in
my
his
favorite
face
part
and the
of
blood.
it. Not so much the panel underneath where everyone's flying everywhere. I just punch to the face.
So fucking crazy.
You usually don't. That's usually like that's like an Image Comics panel right there because usually Marvel doesn't zoom in on the punch, give you the blood spraying everywhere while this dude's face is going one way while his skull is going the other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, most definitely. Like this is definitely a fucking mature comic because the villain's like beats women and murders them. Like, it started off with him shooting Jessica Jones. He shoots Black Cat, like blood. This is just a really fucked up book. It's really dark. If there was swearing in it, it would be a Marvel Knights title. That would be the only thing to make it a Marvel Knights title was if there were swear words. Other than that, it's pretty dark. So Luke picks up the car and tells Jess that he'll get them another one. And then he jokes, like, well, Danny will buy us another car because he's a broke-ass motherfucker. And Danny's a billionaire. And he smashes it on top of Diamondback, putting him out of commission for sure. Like, he's just... I mean, he's on the ground, fucked up.
The car. Like, it's almost like it's a steel chair hit in wrestling to somebody on the ground, but it's with a SUV.
Oh, he fucks him up bad. Like, I mean, he's already bloody. He's not going to get up. Like, he was out for the count, and he just gets destroyed even more so.
Yeah.
So the cops are on their way, and Daredevil's worried. You know, he knows this is going to get tossed out of court. It doesn't look good, especially with that last hit with the car. It just makes it even worse. Luke thinks, you know, he used to be a cop back in the day, so he's like, you know, I know a little something about the law too. It'll be fine. Daredevil's like, no, it's not going to work out. You know, Daredevil's district attorney.
Yeah, he's the
You know,
lawyer.
so,
He already sees the outs.
yeah, I mean, he's going to be the guy who's trying the case, so he knows what the deal is. So next up is the bail hearing at the Southern New York District Court, where I'll call Matt because he's not in his Daredevil clothes. So Matt's trying to get the bail revoked, and Diamondback's lawyer argues that the case of a case of excessive force against his client, and the defenders being in the courtroom isn't helping because he argues intimidation.
Yeah,
And Matt can't seem to get a word in
and it all
edgewise.
looks like courtroom art. Like it's all sketched
does,
out in
yeah,
chalk. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's not art like awesome art like the previous, but it's not supposed to be. It's like, you know,
No.
purposely sketched out this way.
That is pretty awesome. So it's like you're seeing it as if like they published it in the newspaper or something, but you still get the speech bubbles and everything.
Yeah, like cameras weren't allowed in the courtroom, so they had the sketch artist and, you know, doing the quick things.
Yeah, and good versatility by David Marquez because, you know, I mean, you could tell it's him, but at the same time, it's a different variation of his style. It really looks really good. So
yeah, it was pretty.
And then, you know, Matt's having trouble trying to get a word in edgewise. The Diamondback's lawyers going on and on, just making him look really, really bad. Yeah. And he finally gets to talk, and he brings up Diamondback escaping custody, to which Diamondback's lawyer argues it wasn't him. It was Frank Castle who escaped. Willis Stryker was merely fleeing for his life from the maniac. The judge goes for it and gives bail on the condition that Diamondback surrenders his passport. And the judge also can't charge him with the attempted murder of Black Cat because she's the only witness and she's in a coma, kind of knocked out, you know. Well, they believe she's in a coma, but coma. What the fuck am I saying? Coma. So the defenders are not happy. They look fucking pissed. You know, Luke Cage has an outburst in the courtroom. It just didn't go their way. And, you know,
he gets ordered in the court.
Yeah. Rein it in. So next we have head over to the hospital. Ben Urich is trying to get into Black Cat's hospital room to see if she's awake, and he tells the cops about Diamondback getting bail, and you know, they make some kind of jokes, which is kind of funny. And then Hammerhead shows up to relieve the cops, but he tells them they can stay because he's more comfortable guarding them now that he knows Diamondback is on the street, and he warns them about the coming gang war because shit's about to pop off. And then Ben gets asks Hammerhead for a quote, and he gets a very vulgar, unusable quote from him.
expletive.
Yeah, expletive deleted. Reminds me of that scene from Jay and Bob Strike Back when the lady's trying to read their comments on the internet. She keeps going, expletive deleted. The art here just looks insane on this page. Like even the simplest things, like two people just talking in a hospital room hallway, like the detail that goes into faces, just the faces alone. Cool. Yeah, it's
and then
so
Black
good.
Cat's awake on the inside. I don't know if she was faking a coma or what, but she hears Hammerhead's out.
Yeah, she hears him out there, and you can see it in her face. Like, you know, normally she has like this very confident bravado, and she's never really scared of anything. But you could see she looks like a scared little girl. Like she just looks frightened, like worried. It really comes across with just half of her face in that panel. You can just see the emotion there. Like, you know what she's feeling just by the look on her face. So then we cut and catch up to Jessica Jones talking to someone. We don't know who, wink, wink. She's calling in a favor.
The narration has been basically telling the story to somebody the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. So, which is funny because normally when we open up a Defenders issue, we get Ben Urich giving us the rundown of what's been going on. But they took the opportunity in this issue to make it a part of the issue. So what she was doing in that opening is what she is doing at the end, which is pretty cool. I think that's pretty awesome. So she seems very reluctant to call in this favor, but shit's getting crazy, and they just might need this particular type of crazy. As we turn the page, we see Deadpool eating a burger, wearing a Netflix hoodie. We get the normal non-sex exchange. He's fucking sitting there, and he's got like it looks like a fucking Happy Meal, and it's got the Deadpool logo on it, and he's got a fucking cup with his logo on it. And it doesn't say
Yeah.
Netflix because I guess that would be like trademark infringement.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can
They don't
tell,
get the sponsor.
no, because it just says Flicks in like the same font, and you know what it is. So, it's the normal nonsense exchange you would expect when dealing with Wade Wilson, and then Jessica tells him they'll be square if he helps them out, and he accepts with a fourth wall
I know.
breaking joke, like. Like I love you because like that is literally the best offer I've had in the last 19 pages. Like,
I know. I liked it. Yeah, it was cool.
I think it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But you
Yeah.
would think that's where the issue would end, but it's not. So you turn the page and we're checking in with Diamondback. He's sitting in front of a giant indoor pool and he's having an exchange with his benefactor, who is a man who set all this crazy shit in motion. The mystery man tells him he needs to wrap it up. There are new players entering the game. Elektra is in New York, and it's making our benefactor here a little nervous. If he only knew about Deadpool, so I mean, he's thinking about Elektra. Deadpool's
Yeah.
fucking way worse. The bodies are gonna drop. So Diamondback tells him he needs more of those superpower pills, to get back out there and finish the job. He tells Diamondback it's not going to be a problem, and as we turn the page, it's Wilson Fisk, the kingpin of crime. Fisk asks him if in prison or if in court or if the police or if anybody has hinted at any knowledge of their connection, and did anyone mention the name Wilson Fisk? And that's all we get. It's to be continued till the next issue.
Yep.
I was surprised.
So,
I didn't see
yeah.
it coming.
It's only reason I knew it was Kingpin early is because of the shadow through the light. You can see it on the ground. But yeah, I didn't. From reading previous issues with you, I didn't know Kingpin was really behind it. Also, it's cool development there. But yeah, overall, what do you think? Buy, borrow, or forget for this bad boy?
I gotta say, I'm usually, as I think most people are nowadays, pretty down on Bendis, but I think he must really be having a good time writing this book because you can tell he puts his all into it. The pacing is always usually good. There's always a ton of action. Like every issue, there's never not action. You're never gonna be bored. The art is fucking insane. It's some of David Marquez's best work. Justin Ponser's colors are incredible. Like every part of this comic, I love. It's a buy for me.
Yeah, but I would agree with you because I'm a really hard on Bendis as well, and like you said, it does feel like for whatever reason a book that he cares more about, so it's just written more interesting, and there's not any of the nitpicks that I usually have with a lot of his issues like present in any of this series that I've read, because I did miss the Punisher issue. I've read all the other ones. So, I didn't even know that one came out, to be honest with you. I didn't know I missed one. So, but yeah, I mean, so when I tell, somebody to buy a Bendis book, I feel like that comes with some added weight behind it. And that's where I'm at with this one too. I really like it.
I agree.
It was slightly behind Deadpool as far as enjoyment for me goes, just because Deadpool felt a little more fresh, because this isn't a new story. You know what I'm saying? This is just kind of continuing what's already been going on. But it's still a blast to read, and it's a fun comic book. You get a good pairing of art and story there that can't really be beat at Marvel right now anyway. So,
no.
I would recommend it as a buy wholeheartedly. And we'll transition from that into I always mess this Spider-Man number up. 789, right? Amazing Spider-Man 789. So you guys can hear what we think about that next. All right. So I'm just gonna do sign out and end a podcast. So we decided Incredible. I got to get the numbers for these books. I forget fucking.
What is it? Incredible Hulk, Iron Man.
I'm gonna round up right now. It'll tell me. They got this new option on Roundup. It tells you all the books released for the week now, even if they're not reviewed.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's super helpful. Okay,
Cable.
Hulk is 709. Cable's what, 150?
150.
Thor is
So
what,
Iron Man
700?
700 and Iron Man 593. Those are crazy numbers.
Yeah, no. All right, so here we go. We'll do this wrap up. I got favorites of the week for sign out.
Oh,
All right, we are back here to wrap things up with you guys. We're gonna we usually switch up the sign up segment every week, and this week we got favorites of the week for you. Not one we've done in a while, but just considering not even necessarily the books in the last week, maybe the last couple weeks if Trevor's having a hard time thinking of something. But I got 3 all currently from this week, and one's kind of a cheat because it's a trade. But regardless, my DC favorite of the week was Metal number 3. I think that story is just real fun to read, and I've had a blast with that comic book so far. For Marvel, my favorite was Despicable Deadpool 287. So I thought that was cool, like kind of the Deadpool going bad thing again, taking shape, and see where that all leads to now that he's got Cable's arm and a crazy AI in his arm. And then Indy was 7 to Eternity Volume 2. So I didn't get to read it yet, but I liked Volume 1 shit ton. So, and the way that trade ended, it only gave you the first 4 issues, and the cliffhanger that you got at the end, issue 4, was just like, oh god damn it, I I need to know what happens. So
yeah, that book.
That's
God, I love
that's
that book.
my next trade I'm jumping into, but I'm gonna save it for after I finish all this Morrison Batman stuff, because I'm almost through the point I need to be through to fully get the grasp of all this Barbado shit. So yeah,
I gotta get into that. I'm so behind on my DC trade because I've been catching up with Marvel for so long now.
yeah,
And
you got to start with Batman and Son, and then go
yeah,
from
I have all the trades. I don't know what the fuck I'm waiting for. Like I've had them for almost a year and I haven't picked one of them up yet. So I don't know what the fuck I'm waiting for.
Yeah, every
I'm making
time
my way through.
I finish one, I buy the next one that's 2 ahead of where I'm at. So I only got like I got to get through the Batman and Robin volumes. I got those 3 to get. And
yeah, those are really
I haven't
good.
decided if I'll get Batman.
I mistakenly read those before I even started Batman and Son. Like when I bought those, I read them because I just couldn't not read them. And
Right.
I was just getting back into comics at the time, and so it was like a 10-year, 12-year period where I wasn't paying attention to anything. So I didn't even realize that Batman was Dick Grayson, and I was like, oh, this is really fucking cool. And then I had to like educate myself on timelines and everything. So I have everything straight. I just haven't read it yet, but
Yeah,
good stuff. I'm making my way right now through Brubaker's Captain America, where I have like 40 issues left of that. It's like a 120 some odd issue run. And I just started, I'm 15 issues into Peter David's 96 issue X Factor run, which is fucking amazing. So I got to get through those before I can hop back into that. But so I went a little different, even though I liked a lot of the books that we talked about, and some of them are my favorites. I picked for DC, just so we're not picking the same books. I picked Action Comics because I really fucking enjoyed it this week. I know some people didn't, some people did, but I liked what Dan Jurgens did in that issue with just sucking the hope away from Cyberman and just showing how crazy. It was really depressing, and when I don't watch the news a lot, and the other night I was watching the news and it was just all bad shit, people getting raped, little kids getting beat and stuff, and I was like, wow, and then when I read Action Comics, that popped in my head, and I was like, wow, it's not all happening all at once. Technically, it is, but it's not as the magnitude of what happened in Action Comics, but it is like that. Like the world is really a crazy place, and it really put a spotlight on it for me, and it made me think. So I was like, if it can provoke that kind of reaction where it makes me think about the world, I'm like, that's a good comic book. I really enjoyed that. Marvel, that was a hard choice for Marvel because there were good ones. I really liked All New Wolverine this week. I was gonna go with Inhumans Once and Future Kings because Christopher Priest, it was just a well-written comic, but I have to go with All New Wolverine because I really, really enjoyed that book, and the new artist. I feel like the art has always been decent on All New Wolverine, but I always felt like it deserved like A-list, like high detail, beautiful, clean line art. And
sometimes it would edge on almost like kitty art sometimes.
Yeah. And this issue, it was great, and it dives deep into Laura's origin, and all the stuff that happened in the X-23 books. So it's really interesting. So I really enjoyed that book. And my indie book is Harbinger Renegade on Valiant by Rafa Roberts and Derek Robertson, which is just fucking insane. Like, if you could read a book, like this dude in the beginning of the book, his name's Peter Sanchik, right? He's like a heroin addict, but he's this extreme like telepath and telekinetic. So in order to recover, he fucking went out like and lived in orbit of Saturn in this protective like telekinetic cocoon, and he was transmutating molecules to be oxygen, and he just sat there and meditated for like a year or like 2 years on like the outside of Saturn. I was like, it's so fucking insane and so brutal. It's such a good book. Like, I highly recommend that book.
Nice. So yeah, those are our picks of the week. So if you're looking for, I don't know, maybe something different besides Marvel, wondering maybe what we're reading for some unknown reason, there you go. That's your answers for at least last week anyway. But yeah, if you guys are looking to reach us, we always have 2 ways that are open for you. That's on Twitter. That's at Madness Marvel 1, and then Gmail is Marvel Madness 0. So yeah, you can hit us up there with anything on your mind. Next week's books, Legacy Month continues, and we've decided to go with Incredible Hulk 709, Invincible Iron Man 593, Mighty Thor 700, and Cable 150. So those are really some old school type titles right there. We're going to be covering for you guys, some classic Marvel. And with that, we're going to be signing out here. Our party is over. Like I said, you guys know how to get a hold of us. Reach us if you're looking for us. And until next week, we will talk to you. And peace out.
Peace.